television adventure right now on States and Kingdoms. Welcome back to States and Kingdoms. Today we're talking about television and their album Adventure.
As is our wont, we didn't start with the first album.
Yeah, we like to go all
really,
squiggly.
It's like we like to keep things unpredictable, exciting, and make sure that algorithm never finds us.
Yes.
That's how
trying,
I like
YouTube.
it. You keep trying to find us. We're eluding you.
We're real squiggly.
It's kind of like what Chico says. First we go to the ball game, but he fools us. He don't show up.
Yeah.
Then the next day we fool him. We don't show up. Yeah, that's our relationship. Yeah, there you go. All right. Anyway.
So television.
Adventure. Now, television is a very special band to me. You know, when I got Marquee Moon, I don't know when that was. Probably I don't know. I was 16. I remember that.
And I got Marky Mark.
It changed what I thought about guitar. I mean, I talked about this a little bit with Tom Verlaine. I just was so awestruck by how Richard Lloyd and Tom Verlaine played. And, I always thought that this album, was not as good as Marquee Moon. And most people, that was most people's opinion.
Album.
But when I listened to it, I just think it's fantastic. And, there are some... I said this before, I think, but I mean, there are moments on Tom Verlaine's solo records and on this that are just as beautiful, just as stunning as, anything on Marquee Moon. The Dream's Dream, Carried Away, The Fire, I mean, they're...
Oh, this album is really great.
Yeah, there's a lot on it.
In a lot of ways, I know this one better than Marquee Moon, and I'm not even sure why. No, I really do. I love this album. All the songs are fantastic. None of them are weak or boring or, skip overable.
Richard Lloyd is not on this album as much. There's not as much interplay between the two guitars, which...
Right.
Does make the first album very enticing to listen to. And still, there's an abundance of beautiful guitar playing on this album. So it's not like that's missing in any way.
But yeah, on Marquee Moon, that sound is such like a signature stylistic note on that record. Guitars, and that's what you think of when you think of television.
The production, it's I suppose a little bit, it's not as raw. But it's also not in any way overproduced. Like they don't go for, a late 70s sound. They're not trying to sound like, I don't know, take your pick.
Tom Petty.
Yeah, Tom Petty albums. They sound pretty good though.
No, I was thinking because we were saying that the other day how talking about this record and television in general. Why weren't they more popular? It's like, why wouldn't anybody that listened to Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers also listen to this?
I know it's difficult to figure.
There's similarities.
There absolutely are.
I was like, what was the record company doing? Like,
I don't know.
Sitting back on your laurels.
Did they have
television
laurels?
Flounder like a little fishy.
Yeah, television obviously should have been more successful. I mean, this album is plenty good. It's not a
everything could have been.
It's not disappointing.
All could have been hits.
Yeah, they had a number
all these
of
songs are catchy.
I mean, Foxhole is a powerful song. We talked about this before. I love Tom Verlaine's lyrics. I think he's one of the greatest lyricists, the most poetic lyricists in rock music.
He's really unique.
As far as though like a sophomore slump, the more I listen to this album. And if I haven't listened to what I mean is if I haven't listened to it in a while, I put it on. If I've heard Marquee Moon more recently, sometimes it takes a little while to kind of get into the rhythm of the album. I feel like this album, it's got a different rhythm to it, and it's actually a bit more almost dramatic. I mean, when this came out, there's something like The Dream's Dream. There's almost nothing quite like that.
It still feels different.
Yeah,
even listening to it now, forget about when it first came out. Even now, listening to this album, when that song comes on, it's like, I can't even explain it, but you're almost like, well, that's a crazy song. That's a good choice.
It sounds almost like a classical piece.
Yes.
And it sounds like something like Tortoise. You know, almost like a band like that would do.
Yeah.
You know, later, obviously.
Much later.
15 years later or whatever. And it's and lyrically it is, very ambiguous and
Yes.
interesting. Some people don't, I guess, find that interesting. I don't,
Even if I'm not understanding the words, like what he's saying, as in I don't hear them.
Well, it's
no, I don't understand words. I'm not stupid.
No, that's not what I mean.
But I do have trouble hearing a lyric sometimes.
From Tom Verlaine or just in general?
In general.
Oh. What? The elevator said what?
The steamer spleen?
Anyway. Well, it's funny, when we sat down to talk about this, I wasn't really going to talk about it this way. But this is how this kind of developed. I don't know why television wasn't more successful. Obviously, they didn't have enough support. Most people didn't hear them. They still don't hear them.
Yeah.
I think if you heard this album first, you would absolutely want to know who this was, and you would find their other albums, and that includes, of course, the '92 album, which I like very much. I don't know if we won't get into that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like it as much as these two, but it's still really very good. But and then I'm sure Marquee Moon would be the one that you would really single out as their masterpiece, because it is. But I think this album is fantastic. I think there are it has a sound, it has a rhythm. The Glory, Days, Foxhole, there is more up tempo. But with of course interesting lyrics, different. Yeah. They're different songs. I'm not saying in any way they're the same.
I know.
But then you have these dramatic ballads,
and they're extremely dramatic.
And there's always with television just the most beautiful guitar playing. Really, Tom Verlaine is someone that I listen to and I want to play. He makes you want to play. It makes guitar exciting again. And if you play guitar for a long time, it's a often enough. I don't know how to put it. You can get tired. You can get tired of listening to other people play guitar. There and then there are those players that always just get you excited again, and show you they're always like teaching you, and it's exactly the way it was when I was 16. The thing with television, it's just one of those bands that you always whenever we talk about it, you almost always fall into, why wasn't this band more successful?
It's very hard. Yeah, with someone like this, a band like this, it's hard to not.
And I don't even just mean then, because when they got back together, they're like the first band to do that, from that period of time.
Right.
Before, you had the Pixies that were, or any of those bands that got back together, Emission of Burma getting back together. Of course, that's another one that
yeah, we'll talk about.
We get into. But, they always have fans. They're always critically appreciated. This album was, maybe was overlooked a bit critically, but still, most, in fact, I think Christgau actually is like one of the only reviews that didn't make me vomit.
He likes television.
Yeah.
For some reason.
We always fall into that. What is it about this band? It's like a mystery.
Because some
Why
groups,
is it,
some groups you really just don't understand it. They seem to be the total package.
Yeah.
The music, the lyrics, the playing, the production, the records, the look, the sound, the style, the attitude. They're right, and the timing seemed right.
You can't say like Tom Verlaine's singing style, because why does everyone know who Tom Waits is?
Tom Waits has the voice of an angel, and don't you ever put him down.
Anyway, I'm just saying, it's we always wind up talking about that. It's like, what did they have to do? What would they have had to have done? And even now, they still feel like a fringe group in a way that they absolutely should not. where's their ticket to the Hall of Fame? And I don't care.
I'm over the Hall of Fame.
I don't care.
I'm over it.
But still.
Yeah.
You know.
Or a ticket to the Hall of Fame.
I don't feel like we really quite got to the root of this album here. But
it's hard to talk about.
That's okay. Whatever. We're going to talk about all this stuff over and over again. We're going to record hours and hours. We're going to fill up YouTube.
Look forward to our next television. Thank you so much for watching our discussion of Television's album Adventure. Please make sure to let us know what you think of this record in the comments. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to States and Kingdoms, and stay tuned for more videos here at the channel on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and we'll see you next time.